Okay. So today we'll cover the global Nostro or Vostro facility. How this actually recon happened, what would be the important terms that we need to discuss, and while working with the Nostro and Vostro account, what would be the roles and responsibilities of the resource who is working with the Nostro and Vostro recon process. Okay. So as earlier, I have just given you the picture of my international account, how I accept the payments. You can see the different currencies, different payments that I received in a different currencies, and these different currencies I convert into my INR, but I don't convert into any currency. So actually, this facility, people they convert my payment into INR or any currency that I want. See, I have updated my bank details, right? Because as a trainer, I received payment from across globe, and I accept the payment from a different my clients who are located in a different countries, and they send their payments in my in their local currency, but I accept that payment in their currency. But that payment will means this facility will help me to convert into my local currency. It's not only that just the payment will easily convert from one currency to another. It's not an easy process, right? Because there should be a logic behind it, right? If we say to convert, it means we're gonna buy something, we're gonna sell something at a current market price, right? And how this happened then? So I'll give you just one example again that will help you to get a good understanding about this Nostro Vostro, and let's see if that helps to you to understand, because the everything is in the concept. Okay, if you're able to understand the concept in details, trust me, then this will very easy to even to learn this. Where is the board? Okay. This set as a background. So this one I like. It would be white probably. Let's say you. So my account is with Axis Bank, right? And that is for INR. There is one, let's say JP Morgan, right? JP Morgan, and this is also bank, okay? And this is JP Morgan, let's say located in USA, United States of America. This is my account, and which is set for INR currency. Okay. So what I'll do, or what the banks would do, simple. So the Axis Bank will open one account with JP Morgan. Axis Bank will open one account with JP Morgan for USD currency. Axis account USD currency. Okay. And the customer or my client, let's say the my client is again he or she is from US. B, right? So my client is B. See, my client is entitled to pay me which is $500, right? So he can, nowadays we have a different platforms which is like crypto platforms. You can convert that into crypto and send to my crypto wallet. So you don't require this kind of framework, and it's very easy, right? If you want the payment, just call to the person who is located in abroad, hey, and just ask him or her to install the crypto wallet, convert that USD into any cryptocurrency. Any means any, right? Even they can convert into USDT, strong coin, and that means they can send that payment into directly to you to your that the your key means that's what the blockchain is helping a lot to resolving the cross-border payment transactions. So within a flash that the payment that the person or you and you can also send to any currency to anyone. So you don't require this kind of framework. And if the governments this enables openly enable this blockchain technology in a payment industry, you can see the massive impact on a job market also. All the reconciliation jobs will be wiped out because here the transactions would be P2P, means in customer to customer. If I'm a buyer and another one is seller will directly sell to me. So you don't require the Axis Bank and other JP Morgan intermediaries who can help us to that they book the spot or futures and other transactions and to transfer or convert the payment into different currency. So you can avoid this conversion process. That process we called FX and charges. And beyond that, you can avoid time. And why I'm saying this, so now we'll discuss that. I'll send the instructions to my Axis Bank to accept my payment from my one of the US client, which is 500 USD. Correct? Then the Axis Bank will send the instructions to the JP Morgan because Axis Bank is holding up that the Nostro account, the Axis Bank, which is a domestic bank, which holding a Nostro account with JP Morgan for a USD currencies. So it means Axis Bank payment team will send the instructions to the US Bank or the JP Morgan payment team to accept the payment in my account from the US client, which is 500 USD. Or else, if you have a bank account with JP Morgan, you don't need to tell anything to the JP Morgan because already you are a customer of JP Morgan, right? So directly what I can do, I can ask Axis Bank to provide me the account details of your onshore account, right? So where my onshore client can directly deposit in USD to the JP Morgan's, your JP means Axis Bank's JP Morgan account, simple. Let's say there was a mail, even this happened 2 to 3 months back. So I called to the Axis Bank and they provided me their onshore account number, right? JP Morgan's all details to me, and then I sent this all details to my customer who is located in US, right? And then that guy sent that payment to the Axis Bank's JP Morgan account, US, the account which was set for a USD currency. So in short, so customer sent JP Morgan's account, but not a JP Morgan's, right? Let's say so Axis Bank's account, which is for a USD currency. So customer sent 500 USD. So now the fund received in Axis Bank's onshore account, right? Then Axis Bank's responsibility to convert that 500 into INR and transfer that INR to me, right? So see the $1 now. Let's say this happened today. My client sent the $500 in the Axis Bank's account today itself, and if you see the rate of today is this rate which is FX rate, let's say which is 77.25, then 500 into 3625, and this would be INR, right? So the Axis Bank will accept the deposit in their account, right? And this USD 600, sorry, 500 USD that the Axis Bank will convert into INR and transfer that amount to me. So actually, bank don't need to convert that USD, but that the USD will be parked in the Axis Bank's account, right? It's a business of Axis Bank, so might be sometime I'll ask, or else say if we can take the reverse situations, I'll send the instructions to Axis Bank to send the 500 USD to my one of the US client, right? So let's say the 500 USD, so that I have sent the 38,625 INR to the Axis Bank, and I request Axis Bank to convert that INR into USD and send that USD to my one of the onshore client. So then in that case, bank don't need to that go into the market, purchase the USD and then do it. So bank already, because banks, this is a facility account. There would be already USD in available in the bank's account, and it's a required, it's a mandate. Even in a normal saving account, what's the provision? If you open your account with the Axis Bank, then you need to maintain the at least 10,000, right? Minimum balance would be the similar conditions implies to this account as well, right? If you're holding Nostro account, the similar situations applies to this account as well. But the my important point is how you convert this, or how you decide this, the rates and all, right? So there should be a mechanism, right? If you don't have a mechanism, then we won't be able to convert it. So very simple. If we don't have a mechanism, then we won't be able to convert it. So what we do, so actually, when the US client send the payment to the Axis Bank, their team buy the spot of USD, whatever rate would be, because eventually this 500 spot against INR, because eventually this USD will be converted into INR, because INR that goes around 36,700 to 5 something, 38 something, or right? Buy USD spot and sell INR at spot. That's the reason this mechanism come into picture when we say the global reconciliation or the global Nostro and Vostro terms come into picture. Without this mechanism, you cannot do trades. Without mechanism, you cannot, because when you book the spot, so it means to book the spot, it means you're converting that $500 value should be convert into INR, right? And that should convert into INR, because the market is volatile. There you can see the sensitivity in the market. Sensitivity, it means the market changes every moment. When my customer sent the 500 USD to you, the rate was this. But when you're converting that 500 USD to INR, the rate, now rate change, which is around this. This happened, right? So that's the reason when you accept the payment, at the same time you need to book the spot. And a similar way, so price instead in decrease, this INR can be increase also, increase or decrease. Means value appreciate or depreciate. Every moment that you can see the appreciation and depreciation in the value of the INR as well as USD also. To protect to protect to such a fluctuations from the market uncertainties, you need to book the spot and confirm the price. So once you do this, now you have the price, If the price changes, that doesn't matter to you. If this price changes, now you have a spot, right? Let's say you book the spot with this. You're going to apply this only and convert that USD to INR and process the payment. Process the payment. Simple. There is no. And why then? Why then the future come into picture? Forward come into picture. Because in a global recon team, and if you apply for any interviews, you may expect question on a spot, future, and forward. Why this come into picture? When my customer send the payment in your USD account, which is 500 USD, right? So the bank will try to protect the value of this 500 USD, right? Because bank, the Axis Bank, their main business in INR. If the value of this USD goes down, see the value goes up or increase, that's fine, means the bank would be in profit. There is no harm, there is no dent to the capital of a bank. But what if this 500 turn into negative ways when you convert that 500 into INR? Just think. Once my customer deposit, so now the 500 value in USD is around 450 only. And this is the current price. Originally received 500, but now the 500 value is 450 due to market fluctuations. Then how would you protect to this? If you sell the spot 500, if you sell the spot at 500, would that be help? If goes above, you would be in trouble, right? If that goes below this, that's absolutely fine. You're gonna receive the compensation amount, that is 50. If the market, let's say market price now is 450, 450, right? Whatever difference would be that the another counterparty will pay to you. So right, so you would be in a balance that 500 USD. So means you have protected the risk. So that's the reason. If the counterparty has a speculations or predictions about the market that there might be that the USD currency can go down or go up, in that case, they try to protect to the currency by paying the premium or margin to the counterpart. So it means they will enter into futures. Let's say the current market price is this and the future value is this, or future price is this 450, future price, then always banks will try to enter into the future contract. So it means they will sell sell the spot at this price, and they will after that they will buy it at 450. So what's the meaning of short sell? To sell at high and buy at low. That's how you can generate and mitigate the loss. Correct. Sell at high because now you have an idea that's the price of a future is low, but the spot price which is that you have which is 500. So you can sell that 500 right away. So where the in future that you can buy it at 450. And the similar applies to the when you have a speculations, price may go high. Price may go high. In that case, what you can do? Eventually, you don't need to do anything because if you have a 500, that is already you have a means buy spot, right? And if this price goes high in future, then you would be eventually you would be in profit. So here you can sell it if you want. If this 500s now let's say 500s become 700, the value of 500s now become this USD. So eventually you bought spot in past. So here you can sell it. Okay. So the main reason is to understand this. If you look for a Nostro and Vostro accounts, and if you try to sit for an interview of Nostro and Vostro, here you may expect questions on a spot contracts. All right, spot it means current market price of a particular contracts that the most of the companies they book the contract at a current price, current market price. That market price we call spot. Future and forward. Yes, future it means so future what would be the price of a security or assets or currency in future. Forward it means it's a customized contract. So you can sign with any counterpart and protect your amount or the price or the value that you're looking for. Okay, and in short, the Nostro it means if your domestic firm is holding, if the domestic firm are holding account with the international firm for a different currencies, that account we call Nostro. Now you can raise the question. If if a Citibank hold a account with the HDFC Bank for a INR, that would be your Vostro account. For a Citibank would be Vostro account. For HDFC Bank would be Nostro account. Yes, vice versa. There is no change in the process because you can take the example where the Citibanks want one INR account and that they have approached the HDFC Bank to maintain their INR account in India for Indian customers. Okay, why this come into picture? From a trainer to big businesses, everyone required an international transaction. Everyone need a help. So where they can accept the payment in different currencies and where they can send the payment in a different currencies to the different customers and clients. If this Nostro and Vostro is not there, then the global payment system will be disrupted. Then how will you transfer the payment? How will you mitigate your payment requirement? How will you purchase the goods? How the again even the colleges and institutions, if you apply for admission and all, how would you take the admission to pay the fees to the foreign institutions? How will you do that? You won't be able to do it, right? So the HDFC Bank that work as a finance intermediary, and the similar way, the HDFC Bank can approach to the different banks to open or to provide the HDFC, the Nostro account for a different currencies, or let's say Citibank for USA, JP Morgan for France, Bank of America for a Canadian currency, Germany, UK, and Japan. These will be the countries where, for different countries, HDFC Bank can have accounts with the foreign institutions, and that accounts we called Nostro. Because on a daily basis in a payment system like TLM, IntelliMatch, and other payment system, the on an Axis Bank account, we received payments. We received payments in these transactions. We received payments in this currency, USD, France, CAD, that the CAD, JFR, ZBP, right? And what we do, we book the spot, we convert that into different currencies, and we just match it, match the transactions. Tuck, 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 just match it. We do the matching job in a Nostro Vostro. Apart from that, yes, if you see the only the one internal transactions or external transactions that you have received in the system, then in that case you need to do investigation and find out why only we have received internal transaction only, because you need to have internal versus external transactions, right, in your Nostro account. So what's the meaning of it? My client send the payment to the USD account, and you have sent convert that USD to the INR. So one debit and one credit. Here you can put the logic, because actually that you are debiting amount, but that would be there in the Nostro account. But the value of that, the 500 USD that you are going to debit, means in short that you will have to transfer to me. I'm in India. But in a Nostro account activity, so one would be accept and one would be that you have paid. So that's the reason we say internal versus external transactions, that we try to match it. And if that payment received extra versus like external transactions that you were saying 600 USD that you have received, and debit only you are saying 500 GBP. In that case, you won't be able to match. Correct? You have received, my customer sent to you 500 USD. Maybe in my Nostro you are saying only 450. The difference should be around 50. Then how would you do the investigation for this? Of course, that you need to check my instructions, because already I'll send the instructions to you. I'm looking for a 500 USD, right? And against that, you can check in your account why you have received only 450. Might be here it's a possibility of where the Citibank applied their transaction charges, and that's the reason you have received 450. Sometime payment will receive to you. Payment would be exactly match, but the date would be different. This date you can say VD, value date, payment date would be different. Internal that you are saying okay, that's fine. External transactions you are saying okay, but you are not able to match because the date is different. Right? So there would be system. You are also part of Recon, right? We in such a case, if the date is not updated, security is not updated, date is not matching, it means it's a mismatch. The amount which is not mismatch, in that case, we try to approach to the technical teams who can work on those scenarios and update the appropriate details on the transactions, and then after we can try to match it. And with a few companies, they have given access to the processor itself, so processor can check the valid resources and sources to identify that, because before making the changes we need to ensure that so everything that is correct as per the procedure, and then after you can take the appropriate action and update that statement or ledger or maybe debit or credit transactions vice versa, and you can match it. To match the transactions is it's a mandate, right? So that it should match. If it is not, it means that something happened. And that's your job to find out what happened. Any question on this? Okay, because this is like similar work that you are doing, but the point here is the Nostro and Vostro, this is purely for a future forward and spot contracts, where the payments facilities they accept and provide to their clients across the globe through the different accounts. Because HDFC they have an obligation, so they cannot do the trades in US in a different currencies. Yeah, they can, but they will have to form their entity, means open their legal office, right? Apply for a that the license and all. So it will actually increase the cost for HDFC Bank. But instead that, why don't they go ahead with the Nostro facility then if they have? And it's very simple. They don't need to operate any physical office and open any physical that the entity in the any jurisdictions. They can just open their account the similar way, because once you migrate from India to US, it's a mandate to have the US account, US bank account with you, right? The similar way, if the HDFC Bank want to offer any service to the other clients across the globe, then it's a mandate to have a Nostro account with the HDFC Bank. And that's the reason you can see most of the people in a process, once they log in, they actually allocate the reason themselves. Like the few people they will work for a JFR, few people will work for a CAD currency, USD, GBP, JPY, and they whole day they do only matching up of transactions. And at the end of the day, they just check the pending transactions, right, and verify it, investigate, and send it to the respective uh, consent team to get the investigation done and then action it accordingly. It's advanced forward. It's like traditional contract where means there won't be any intermediary and all. So buyer and sellers or the two counterparts they can define terms and conditions for forward contract and sign it. Let's say you have the 500 GBPs, or let's say 50,000 GBPs in your account, right? And you don't want to enter in future contracts, or let's say your future contract, it means you're not able to fulfill with the future contracts due to lot issues and all. What you can do, then you can enter into forward contracts, because future would be listed. Forward, it means it's not a listed one, it's a customized contract. So it means it's only the P2P model, counterparty to counterparty. You can define the terms and conditions, future date, price, and then go ahead with the contracts. Because yes, because see, the point is here someone is sending and someone is accepting it. If the HDFC account will be debited, then the again that account will be credited also, because eventually that amount should be credited to someone. So here you are doing the reconciliation in the bank's account. Okay. So when you do bank accounts for a bank, so amount should be debited, credited, right? Only if it is a credited, it means bank is buying only, not selling anything. How the banks earn money or profit from the transactions? Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And at the end, if you do the netting of it, so your profit should be there in the hands, correct? And for a banks also, bank charge the charges for every transactions. If something credited, that should be debited also. So for both the transactions, bank charge their transaction fees. right? In a payment business, this happened. This is a frequent activity. You can look, means you can see the account like this. Only settled positions or settled positions, it means settled contract effect you can see in the HDFC Nostro settled account, and rest also you can see the transactions in a trade account where trade, it means, see, eventually it's a trade, like to book the spot, to book the to purchase the spot, maybe to solve the spot, right? It's a trade where you can see all the transactions. Even you can record the sell forward USD but not settled, you can record that transaction also. Buy forward USD not settled or yet to settle, you can record that also. Sell forward contract cancel, you can record that as well. And most importantly, how you can cancel the forward contracts or future contracts. You may expect question on this. So here we use the terminology which is to reverse the position. Initially, let's say you sold the INR, but if you want to cancel it, then you'll have to buy it. Buy the INR then. So it means reverse it, take the reverse position. This is how this FX market works. Okay, to reverse the positions. So here you can see all the records. Once you calculate, you can, if the debit side is high, then you can say what the position. So it means you have purchased a lot, right? The sell amount is total is less, and if the sell is high, then you can say you have oversold the positions. The some more the few points in addition to this. So the majorly transactions would be for bill of exchange, right? Cross border payment transactions, and then the other business transactions you may see. If the one counterpart want to send the payment, or another counterpart want to send the payments to from each other. That's how this entire global Nostro Vostro works. And Vostro, it means if the foreign entity is holding account with the HDFC Bank or any domestic firm for a domestic currencies, to offer the facility to their Indian client or their US client also. So it's a business, purely business. For a bank, it's a business. They work as agent between the buyer and seller, between the importer and exporter. Correct? And that's the reason this process come into picture, and where you can see the scope for it. And I would say just go through it. Okay, more deep about the future forwards. Try to read it. And if you see the opportunity for a Nostro, now you can crack it, because now you have at least idea how it's work, because we have covered each and every aspect of a Nostro. And from a technical point of view, the most of the team, they work on a matching part only. In a payment applications, their 90% work would be to match it. They received, means yesterday's transactions they received today in their feeds, right? And they match it, internal versus external, statement versus ledger, debit versus credit. Select it, match it. Maybe one statement against two ledgers, maybe two ledgers against few statements, right? So just you need to find out that, right? So where you can check that on a, if it is a normal security payment, should be ISIN, right? Security name and all. And if it is like forward and futures, where you can see the same bank details, then the transaction reference date, value date, and all over currency, so that you can match. Okay. Any question, any doubts, anything that you would like to ask on this part?